A fifth-round rookie quarterback just walked into the NFL, snatched the first-team job like it was a clearance sale at Nike, and now has Stephen A. Smith out here breathing fire at every critic like he's defending the fate of the universe. You're not hallucinating. This is real. This is happening. And yes, it's Shedeur Sanders, the same kid who had college football Twitter melting down every Saturday, now doing the absolute most in Brown's training camp, while simultaneously rewriting the NFL's quarterback blueprint in real time.
If you're into the real story and all the messy twists they don't show on highlight reels, go ahead and subscribe. And if you're sticking around to see how this Browns QB chaos plays out, you should definitely be subscribed.
And people still had doubts? Let's roll it back, because this story isn't just about a strong arm or quick feet. It's about legacy, leadership, media presence, and honestly ego in the best way possible. This is about Shedeur Sanders turning the NFL's dusty playbook of what a quarterback should be into a launchpad for what a quarterback will be. And baby, we're already in orbit. It all started with that name. Let's not act brand new. Shedeur didn't step into the league as just another guy off the draft board. He walked in as Deion Sanders' son, Primetime Jr., the offspring of charisma, pressure, and pure football DNA. That's not just a shadow to walk out from under. It's a whole solar eclipse. Coming out of Colorado, Shedeur was flashy, confident, and fully immersed in the Deion Sanders brand of football. That meant swagger. That meant cameras. That meant criticism. A lot of it. You had analysts saying he wasn't NFL ready, that he needed to sit and learn, that his college game wouldn't translate, which is code for what exactly? Because we all saw what he did at Colorado, dissecting defenses like a surgeon with attitude, keeping poise under constant pressure, and throwing with the kind of accuracy that had opposing secondaries rethinking their careers. But fine, let's say people needed proof. Let's say the fifth-round draft pick was justified. Let's pretend there weren't whispers that Shedeur was just writing his father's name. And then came training camp. That's where the narrative took a complete left turn, veered off the script, and barrel-rolled into chaos, in the best way. Because Shedeur didn't just show up to camp. He took over. Reports started leaking almost immediately. Poised, sharp, vocal leader. Coaches were impressed with his command of the offense. Veterans were respecting his reads. And the media? They were suddenly paying attention like they missed something major in the scouting report. By the time preseason rolled around, Shedeur wasn't just outperforming expectations. He was the expectation. And then came the big announcement. Shedeur Sanders named first-team quarterback for the Cleveland Browns. Not backup. Not developmental. Not give him a year to sit. First team. Cue the internet losing its mind. Cue the haters crawling out of their lukewarm takes. Cue Stephen A. Smith grabbing his mic like it's a sword and going full Shakespeare in ESPN mode. Because when Shedeur made that jump, it wasn't just about football anymore. It was about everything that comes with being a new kind of quarterback. And Stephen A. wasn't having any of the subtle shade or coded criticism. He went off. This young brother has done everything right, Smith boomed, probably sweating through his pinstripes. And people still questioning whether he belongs? It's not about talent. It's about the way people perceive him. Translation. People are uncomfortable when a QB doesn't fit their outdated mold. And Shedeur? He's smashing that mold like it's made of papier-mâché. Because here's the thing. He's not just performing. He's marketing. He's leading. He's building a brand while simultaneously commanding a huddle. He's cool under pressure, sharp in the pocket, and filming TikToks with his teammates between reps. Welcome to the new NFL. Old heads might clutch their pearls, but let's be honest. If Tom Brady could post thirst traps on Instagram in his 40s and get applauded for it, why can't Shedeur drip in ice and confidence at 22? And what the Browns did, that wasn't just bold, it was strategic. They saw the future of the league and realized, why wait? Let's build around someone who doesn't just throw the ball well, but understands the game like a coach, understands a culture like an influencer, and understands leadership like it's second nature. Forget the fifth-round stigma. That's meaningless now. What matters is how he's responded. By showing up early, learning the system like a veteran, and treating every rep like it's prime time in Boulder again. And coaches are noticing. Not because of some viral moment, but because of the grind behind the glamour. And this is bigger than Shedeur. Because his rise is quietly reshaping how the league looks at quarterbacks. It's no longer just about height, weight, and arm strength. It's about awareness, football IQ, charisma, composure, presence. The stuff you can't measure at a combine but can't ignore on game day. Even more wild? The ripple effect. You better believe that every scout in America is rewriting their notes right now. Because if this is what a late-round project looks like, then the whole draft system might need a reboot. We've seen this kind of shift before. Remember when mobile QBs were considered gimmicky? And now, if your quarterback can't move, he's basically a statue waiting for extinction. This is that moment again. But this time, it's about personality, media control, leadership in the age of social branding. And Shedeur? He's the prototype. The dual threat is no longer just about running and passing. It's about playing and presenting. Knowing your reads, then knowing how to post them. Dominating the line of scrimmage, then dominating the algorithm. And while that may sound ridiculous to some, it works. Because fans aren't just watching games, they're watching narratives. And no one understands that better than Shedeur Sanders. Now, of course, the season hasn't started yet. Critics will say wait until he faces real pressure, or let's see what he does when defenses adjust. And sure, that's fair. But let's not pretend like every first-team QB walks into the league with zero learning curve. It's how you handle it that counts. And based on everything we've seen, Shedeur's been handling pressure like it owes him money. From college scrutiny to NFL doubt, he stayed composed, locked in, and one step ahead. Not just on the field, but in the conversation. And whether it's a calculated move or just natural charisma, it's working. And the haters? Well, they're going to have to find a new talking point. Because when Stephen A. Smith is yelling on your behalf, and not at you, you've officially crossed into another level of public respect. That's like getting the sports debate Presidential Medal of Honor. So now we wait. Not to see if Shedeur can rise, but how far? Will he stumble? Sure, probably. Every rookie does. But what sets him apart is what he represents. Not just the potential of a player, but the potential of an entirely new system. A new era. A quarterback who calls the plays and the narrative. A leader who owns the huddle and the hashtag. And most of all, a guy who didn't wait for permission to shine. He just took the spotlight and made it look easy. So here's your moment to sound off. Do you think Shedeur's the real deal? Is the NFL finally ready for quarterbacks with personality and poise in equal measure? Or are we all just getting swept up in the Sanders show? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Hit that subscribe button if you love a little chaos with your football. And stay tuned, because something tells me this is just the beginning. And to the haters, maybe go ahead and start your apology notes now. You're gonna need M. Welcome to the Shedeur Sanders era. Shedeur Sanders' story is only heating up, and the real drama? It hasn't even started yet. Let's talk about what this actually means for the Cleveland Browns. A franchise that, let's be honest, hasn't exactly been known for stability at the quarterback position. This is the same team that's been through more QBs in the last 2 decades than most people go through Netflix passwords. And now, suddenly, they're handing the keys to a rookie? Nah, this isn't just a gamble. This is a full-blown identity shift. The Browns aren't just trying to win games anymore. They're trying to change who they are. They looked at Shedeur Sanders, 5th-round label and all, and saw something most franchises would have overlooked. Someone who can actually change the temperature in the building. Someone who makes people sit up straighter in meetings. Someone whose presence demands attention before he's even thrown a pass on Sunday. And let's be clear, this isn't a guy who's out here pretending to be humble for the cameras and flipping the switch behind closed doors. No, Shedeur has been consistently confident. Even when the media was calling him overrated. Even when scouts labeled him a system QB. Even when social media tried to clown him for being too Hollywood. Guess what? He is Hollywood. And that's not a flaw, it's a superpower. Because this league? It's entertainment. It's ratings. It's narratives. And Shedeur understands that better than most veterans. He's not just playing football. He's starring in the movie, directing the trailer, and producing the behind-the-scenes docuseries. And somehow, while doing all that, he's also nailing his reads and commanding an NFL huddle like he's been doing it since middle school. Now, let's talk about that huddle. You know how rare it is for any rookie, let alone one drafted outside the first 3 rounds, to earn the trust of a locker room? Veterans don't just hand over respect because someone went viral or had a famous dad. You have to earn it. And Shedeur? He walked into that Browns facility, head held high, playbook in hand, and never once acted like he didn't belong. He studied. He learned. He listened. But he didn't shrink. That's the part people miss. This wasn't some Disney underdog arc. This was a masterclass in controlled confidence. One player reportedly said that Shedeur ran the huddle like a 10-year vet on his second day of camp. That's not swagger. That's preparation. That's poise. That's the real reason he's first team. Not because of hype, but because when it came time to perform, he did it better than the guys who were supposed to have the job already. And speaking of hype, can we pause for a second to appreciate the irony? The same media machine that tried to doubt him is now tripping over itself to post his highlights. One-handed throws during scrimmage? Insta story. Smooth pocket slides? SportsCenter top 10. Shedeur breathing? TikTok edit with a future song underneath. He's not just trending. He's taking over. And that brings us back to the Stephen A. Smith moment. Because Stephen A. didn't just praise Shedeur. He anointed him. On live TV. With veins popping and volume on max, like he was personally offended anyone would question the kid. You know when Stephen A. goes from debate mode to preacher in a full sweat? That's how he talked about Shedeur. Quoting stats, calling out double standards, dropping phrases like football IQ, and natural-born leader with full chest. It was more than commentary, it was vindication. Because here's the dirty truth a lot of people don't want to say out loud. Players like Shedeur get scrutinized differently. When a white quarterback walks in with a chip on his shoulder and a cocky smirk, he's a gunslinger. A maverick. A natural leader. But when it's a black quarterback, suddenly that confidence becomes arrogance. The same charisma becomes distraction. The swagger becomes immaturity. And Shedeur? He's exposing all of that without even saying a word. He's just letting the play speak. The confidence isn't performative, it's earned. And now it's undeniable. So what happens now? Well, now the pressure really kicks in. Because when you ascend this fast, people start waiting for the fall. They want a bad game. A rookie mistake. A "see, we told you" moment. And make no mistake, those moments will come. No quarterback, rookie, or vet escapes the learning curve. But the difference is, Shedeur is already built for that pressure. He grew up with it, under it. He watched his dad get booed, doubted, worshipped, and dragged, all before he turned 18. This kid knows what it means to be in the spotlight, and more importantly, how to survive it. So when week 1 hits, and he takes that first snap as the official QB, one of the Cleveland Browns, it won't just be a football play. It'll be a statement. A message to every scout who overlooked him. A reminder to every analyst who wrote him off. A middle finger, in the form of a spiral, to every system that said he had to wait his turn. And let's be real, the league isn't ready for this version of a quarterback. A guy who throws dimes and gets the youth engaged on social media. A guy who can talk trash and back it up with a 75-yard bomb. A guy who can call audibles and call out narratives in interviews. It's not just a new era, it's a full-on evolution. Shedeur Sanders isn't just playing the position. He's redefining it. And here's where it gets wild. If he keeps this up, he becomes the blueprint. Suddenly, every team is looking for the next Shedeur. Scouts stop obsessing over hand size and start asking, what's his leadership presence like on and off the field? Coaches start wondering if their playbooks are stuck in 2008. GMs realize personality is an asset, not a liability. And most importantly, young athletes, especially black quarterbacks, realize they don't have to change who they are to be accepted. They can show up with style, charisma, and full confidence, and still be taken seriously. That's the legacy Shedeur's building. whether he knows it or not. And if you're one of those people still clinging to the wait and see approach, that's fine. But don't act surprised when he's lighting up the scoreboard and signing endorsement deals in the same weekend. Because this isn't just a story about a rookie making first team. It's a story about a player daring the NFL to catch up to him. So get comfortable, because this season, it's the Shedeur Sanders Show. And we're all just watching a pilot. Here's the deal. When someone forces their way into the spotlight, when someone doesn't wait to be crowned but walks in like the throne was custom built for them, that's when things really start to get messy. And Shedeur? He's not waiting for approval. He is the headline. Let's talk about what happens when a rookie becomes the face of the franchise before he's even taken a regular season snap. It's risky. It's wild. But for the Cleveland Browns, it's kind of poetic. A franchise that's lived in a state of chaos for decades might have finally found peace in the form of controlled disruption. And no, that's not a contradiction. That's Shedeur Sanders' whole energy. He disrupts without being disorganized. He commands chaos without becoming chaotic. He walks into the most unstable position in professional sports, the starting NFL quarterback, and makes it feel like a brand launch. Cool, crisp, curated, strategic. You think that's luck? That's planning. This isn't some overnight fairy tale. Shedeur's rise is the result of decades of pressure, expectation, and behind-the-scenes grind. He's been bred for moments like this. Literally. You think Dion raised his kids to be role players? You think Primetime taught his son how to sit quietly in the background? Come on. Dion taught him how to dominate. Not just the game, but the narrative. And now all eyes are on him. Because it's not just Cleveland watching. It's everyone. GMs are watching. Coaches are watching. Sports talk hosts are salivating. The fans? Oh, they're split. Some are ready to buy the jersey. Others are already crafting their "told you so" tweets for when he throws his first pick. Because that's the thing about hype, it invites scrutiny. And Shedeur's got a lot of hype. But here's what separates him from the one-season wonders, the media darlings, the flash-in-the-pan QBs who trend one week and vanish the next. Shedeur has receipts. Every throw in camp? Logged. Every rep? Watched. Every mistake? Learned from. He's not just playing the game. He's building a file cabinet of fuel. He remembers the scouts that said he wasn't mobile enough. The media who said his playstyle was too pretty for the pros. The doubters who laughed when the Browns called his name in the 5th round. And now he's out here starting in week 1 with a first-team offense, commanding a huddle like he owns it, while the same analysts who gave him C+ grades during the draft are quietly rewriting their scripts. Let's be honest, no one saw this coming. Not like this. They wanted him to wait, sit for a year, learn the ropes, adjust to the speed of the NFL, ease into it. All the usual talking points they give quarterbacks who don't fit the old-school prototype. You know, the type, quiet, robotic, media-trained to the point of lifelessness. No jewelry, no TikToks, no personality. And here comes Shedeur, rolling up to camp in a blacked-out Maybach, iced wrist, sharp fade, and the audacity to look like he's enjoying himself. And guess what? He is. Because he knows the storm is coming. And he's ready to dance in it. But let's talk about that storm for a second, because it's coming in waves. Wave 1 is the pressure. Not from the media. He's used to that, but from the actual game. NFL defenses are different. Faster. Smarter. Meaner. They want to confuse you, frustrate you, break your rhythm, and make you doubt yourself. And the moment you blink, they strike. But Shedeur? He doesn't blink. That's what coaches keep saying. His ability to stay composed, not just when he's clean in the pocket, but when things break down, is what's freaking people out. Because most rookies get rattled. They panic. They start seeing ghosts. But Shedeur? He sees opportunity. He wants the pressure. He thrives in it. Wave 2 is the culture war. And no, we're not talking politics. We're talking football culture. You know the one. The crusty, outdated belief that quarterbacks need to act a certain way to be considered serious. Like if you're not wearing khakis, giving Belichick-style interviews, and pretending you hate social media, you must not be focused enough. But Shedeur's out here, blowing that myth to smithereens. He's stylish and strategic, confident and coachable, marketable and mentally sharp. He's not here to play the old game. He's here to reinvent the rules. And you can feel the discomfort in the air, like football's gatekeepers are realizing the game might be evolving without their permission. And that leads us to wave 3, the legacy pressure. Because yeah, Shedeur's not just Shedeur. He's Deion Sanders' son. The weight of that name is heavy. It drips with expectation. It demands greatness. And guess what? He wants that weight. He's not hiding from it. He's leaning into it. Because while the world keeps asking, can he live up to his father's name? He's asking something way more interesting. What if I surpass it? Now that's scary. Because once you stop asking for permission and start defining success on your own terms, that's when you become dangerous. And let's not pretend like the NFL is ready for a quarterback who has that mindset. A quarterback who doesn't just want to win, but wants to own the moment. A quarterback who understands how to control the narrative and the offense. A quarterback who walks into the building and immediately becomes the moment. So what happens if Shedeur actually delivers? What happens if he wins? If he takes the Browns, a team synonymous with misery and quarterback turnover, and leads them to a winning season? Playoffs? A deep postseason run? The entire league would have to stop and reevaluate everything. Scouting? Broken. Player development timelines? Obsolete. The concept of media distraction? A myth. Shedeur wouldn't just be a breakout star. He'd be a blueprint. You'd start seeing teams draft differently, build differently, treat players differently. Because the truth is, Shedeur's not just showing us what a great quarterback looks like. He's showing us what the future looks like. A future where leadership isn't about being stoic and silent, but about being real and relatable. Where quarterbacks don't have to shrink their personalities to fit into the system. Where being media savvy isn't a threat, it's an asset. That's the world Shedeur's creating. And guess what? Whether the NFL likes it or not, it's coming. So let the doubters doubt. Let the haters whisper. Let the analysts flip-flop. It won't change what's already happening. Because Shedeur Sanders has already changed the game. And the season hasn't even started. Do you think Shedeur is about to take the league by storm? Is the media hype justified? Or is this just another flash of preseason magic? Could this really be the start of a new quarterback era? Or are we getting ahead of ourselves? Drop your thoughts in the comments, argue it out, throw down your boldest takes, and of course, don't forget to subscribe. Because if this is what Shedeur Sanders is doing before week 1, you're not going to want to miss what happens next. See you in the chaos.